All right, on to the next. It's did some good things in the Wisconsin game. Was I thought after we got out of the first 8 minutes of that game, I thought our defense had a little teeth. Then I thought offensively we were pretty efficient. In a night where we didn't shoot free throws well and we didn't shoot the three ball very well. To have a 16-point lead. I thought we were pretty good in some other areas. So on to Indiana, playing great. Obviously a team that everybody knows Trace and his national reputation. They're a team that beat Purdue basically without it, and they were great. They've got a lot of veterans. They've got a lot of guys back. Mike's doing a great job of adding his spin to this team, and we've seen a guy in Race Thompson that's made dramatic improvement. Is really playing well. The portal has been great to them. Obviously Miller Kopp coming from Northwestern, Parker Stewart, and then Xavier Johnson. Xavier's he's playing great. And then you've got Fennessy coming off the bench and Galloway and I remiss Galloway's been terrific for them. Big fan of his. But this is a team that's playing really fast. They're great in transition. They've got a little bit of a Michigan State feel to me in terms of what they're doing defensively. I'm sure Dane's brought a little of that with him. Just getting to the ball, swarming the paint, making everything that's hard. They're denying. They're out pressuring much more than they have in the past, and that's helped them get into transition. So. We're gonna have to work hard to run offense. We'll have to be great in transition. We'll have to be physical on the boards, and again, a good Indiana team.
And what's the overall health for you guys right now?
I haven't been to practice yet today, and I haven't got a report of anything that anybody's ill.
Okay. Coleman specifically, only 2 minutes last game. He seems like a guy that you would need defensively if he's following his assignments.
Yeah, very much. And don't make too much about one game, and he's a guy that can help us and needs to help us.
Thanks.
Brad, Trace Jackson Davis, I caught a quote that he said he was surprised Wisconsin didn't double Kofi more. But I wonder, is part of that not giving a defense an opportunity to get into a double team?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen doubles, triples. We've seen single coverage. We go back to some of our games in the non-league, when we didn't have point guards. Kofi saw 2 doubles, triples. I mean, he passes the ball out. Everybody does something a little different. Every game's independent of themselves. And, whatever somebody else does, I don't worry about that. We got to act accordingly, and somebody else coming up may do something completely different. So, it's nice to have options. They did a great job of taking Plummer away. They stayed with him. On all of our shakes and our and high shakes, they did a great job with it, but that's okay. We've got options beyond that.
And what do you think is key against Trace Jackson Davis? I know he's not the only guy to focus on, but he draws a lot of attention.
Sure. I mean, you can't give him easy baskets. You've got to stay between him and the rim. He's an explosive athlete. He's a great downhill runner in terms of playing on offense. He's got great speed. He gets out. If he gets behind you on a lob, on a ball screen, gets behind the defense, he's a great lob catcher and finisher. he's terrific. And, he's a guy that, works really hard at rip driving it. So he's one of the best players, not only in our league, but in the country. And you just got to make things difficult for him. And that's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Good morning, Coach. Aaron Henry was sitting with Orange Crush, I guess, whatever night it was against Wisconsin. What did you think of that when you kind of heard of it? What do you think that moment was like for Orange Crush?
Oh, I think it's tremendous. Anytime you can get any interaction with, I haven't seen any pictures, I've just heard about it, but I think anytime you interact and they get to know you, it's pretty cool.
And you tweeted yesterday that it might be Coach Bielema's turn to get into the student section next. Is that something that you kind of want to make happen before the end of the season potentially?
Well, I won't pressure Brad into that one, but he would fit right in. Let's just put it that way. He would fit right in with the Orange Crush.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
It'd be a great look. Now that video might actually get me back on Twitter or social media, so I might actually watch it if he's in there with the Crush.
Any chance you'd go sit with Black Eye in the fall?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks, Brad.
Coach, Indiana, they don't give up a lot of points, and they turn teams over at a pretty good clip. What's some of the challenges for you offensively?
Not turning it over. Ball tough. You've got to be very good in terms of your they got big wings and Miller and they get in with Galloway. They come in and they're physical. They're going to knock you off of everything they do. And, so you got to take care of the ball. They're in their gaps. It's like I said, it's a very much a kind of got a Michigan State type feel defensively about them. They swarm the paint. They get to the ball. They protect the rim. With Race and Chase, they block shots. Geronimo. So this is a team that plays hard, and you got to be ball tough. And if you're not, leads to transition, and that's where they're very good.
And I assume you watched the tape of Wisconsin. What would you think of Andre Curbello's game, and how's his conditioning coming along?
Yeah, it was what it needed to be. He was great. He had the right reads. He had a perfect pass to Jacob on a slot cut that, doggone it, they just got their hand on. It was the right read. The play right before the half. Jake's wide open in the corner. Their big kid just happened to deflect it. He's seeing the game. We ran the tar out of him yesterday. His conditioning's getting back. He was tired. Even in the, that little bit he played, he laid on a screen or two, which, when Bellows going, he's an elite defender. So, he came up yesterday. We spent, an hour watching film, and he's dialed in, and he'll have to be an important part of what we do tomorrow.
I don't want to monopolize your time or anything, but can you comment on the turnovers? I mean, you only had, I think, maybe 6 or 7 against Wisconsin. It's an area that you've improved a lot at. What do you think the key is to that?
Throwing it to the same color uniform. I think we're playing with a better understanding of what we're trying to do. I think that early in the year we had so many guys in so many different positions, and we were unsure, and role identification wasn't there. And, I think in all fairness, last year we weren't a team that turned it over a lot. We'll have to be on our P's and Q's, so to speak, tomorrow. And that's something that, we took a turnover late just on a shot clock violation, and otherwise you got 5 turnovers, and that's how you win games.
Thanks, Coach.
Brad, it feels like the defense and the numbers are kind of trending up here lately. What do you think's behind that step forward on that side of the ball?
What we just talked about with Doug, not turning the ball over, staying out of transition because of pick sixes, so to speak. I think we've gotten quality shots. I think we're getting better shots. I think good offense leads to good defense. I think that we're growing some chemistry on that end of the court. I think we had a little teeth, like I said, in the second half the other night. I think we're getting better on a lot of fronts, and good offense again helps a lot on the defensive side.
Yeah, that chemistry, it seems like, we've seen your teams hit that defensive stride getting into this point of the season. Is that something am I close on that? Am I wrong on that? And if I'm close, how come you think this is that time?
Well, I think just history has shown that with our teams going back to SFA. I think defense is hard, man. I think it's hard to teach. We spend a lot of time on it. You got to have unbelievable communication. That's so hard for new guys to understand that, especially freshmen, how hard it is to play. But I think that we've got a couple of elite guys in Monte and Trent, and I think other guys are starting to follow into that. Kofi's really good as well. So I think we're starting to play our best on that end of the court, and it does take some time.
And one more, if I could. I know you kind of touched on this after the Wisconsin game, but having two guys, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of college basketball programs who have 3 or 4 wing options. If you have guys like Trent and DeMonte who can, neutralize or really slow down the top two, what does that do for you guys when you can just say, okay, you two go and kind of maybe roll the dice that another team's got either the talent or they're on that night?
Yeah, it's nice to have. It's frustrating as heck when you don't. And unfortunately, those guys are assignment sound. They don't make a ton of scouting report mistakes, which enables them to be very good. And then and a guy like Trent, he never takes possession off. He's and DeMonte for that matter. They their motors run at a really high level, and that's what travels. Effort travels, and those guys do that at a high clip, and it's not easily done. That's a cliche that sounds pretty common. Well, just go play hard. Well, it's not easy to do, and we're fortunate that those two guys do that.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
I'm sorry, Scott. My fault.
I don't know if there's an easy answer when teams are maybe just dedicated to guarding Plummer as closely as maybe Wisconsin did. But is there a priority to try and get him maybe some cleaner looks just to get his life a little easier on that end?
Not really. I love the space he creates. He's going to get some opportunities, but yeah. And we ran 3 or 4 good actions to get him shots. And again, to Brad's credit, Brad Davis, and he's their version of Trent. He was glued to him. He did a great job. He's very assignment sound. Their bench reacted when he did hit one. So it was a big piece of what they were doing. But that's okay. If you're pulling a defender that tight, that means he's not in help, and he's creating space for us. So we run enough stuff to get plum shots. We don't have to add to that package, but the space he creates is to our advantage.
Just as quick of a release as he has, is he a guy that can kind of maybe handle that type of defense and still, in theory,
Yes.
get the same kind of production?
Yes, and he's a very, very good hard shot maker. And, he shoots better with a hand in him than he does open. And so, but he's got that ability.
Okay. Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Coach, the second half of the season, or this other night, Kofi seemed to be very, very aggressive. Do you think he is out to prove a point in the second half of the season that he is one of the top players in the country in the Big Ten? I just have that one question.
I think he's getting back into a comfort zone. Kofi's missed 5 games, to this point, and that's a lot. And, I think that you want to maximize every opportunity that you have. And Kofi's grown into, a very good passer, a guy that takes advantage of what's there. They tried running 2 and 3 guys at him. It wasn't like they left him single coverage, covered the whole night. There was a lot of digging, there was a lot of support, and Kofi was, a lot of times Kofi can go through double teams and triple teams. It all depends on when he comes, but he's, I think he's playing back into coming out of the COVID, coming out of the concussion. He's had a tough January, from that standpoint. With COVID and then the long layoff with the concussion. I just think I don't know if he's out to prove a point. You'd have to ask him, but I think he's rounding back into what is really good shape.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, quick follow-up. Seems like every year this time of the season, scouting plays a really big role in how teams finish out the schedule. Can you comment on how your staff has been doing with scouting and how the team's doing with not making scouting mistakes?
We're getting better on both ends. Everybody, I got a great staff. They're basketball savvy. They do a great job. We put a very good plan together. We think going into every game, I think we're doing a very good job of making adjustments accordingly. We have seen a lot of changes, and teams do different things against us, because of personnel. So we are having to make adjustments on the fly, but I think it's great, and I think our players are, pretty understanding of what we're trying to do, and in those adjustments. So all in all, I think we're in a pretty good place.
Thank you.
I want to kind of rephrase my health question. I was thinking about Trent and how he had a third air ball the other night. Seemed very unusual for him. Not tired legs. I know we're reaching that time of the season where guys are worn out.
No. Trent doesn't come out of practice. Trent is a, I wouldn't worry too much about that, because the one guy I know I don't have to worry about is Trent Frazier.
Thanks.
Brad, I wanted to follow up. The other night, you talked about Michael Beasley and just the things he did on the floor. But I know him and Kofi are like way different players, but how is the impact or what they do to the team similar in the sense that they're kind of different from what a lot of college basketball players have?
Good players make themselves better. Great players make their teammates better. And both of those guys are great, and they make their teammates better because of their ability to score the basketball once they have it. And you have to physically and mentally have a plan for those guys, and then they both have the ability to beat that plan, but they also have the ability to make the other guys better when you try to execute that plan. And that's the ultimate compliment, is to make your teammates' abilities rise because of a way a coach or a team tries to play you. And Mike had that ability. Mike was so hard to stop anyway. He was so gifted with the basketball, but Kofi does it in a different way because he attracts so much attention just with size. But very, 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 very skilled. Not good players, but they're both great players.
I'm guessing there's comfort in that as a coach, having one of those two guys on the floor.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
Brad, it's hard not to notice tomorrow night or Saturday there'll be this will be a game with a lot of 21 to 24-year-olds on the floor on both sides. With your experience, like, what's the difference between coaching an older team than a younger team?
Trust. I think you start to trust guys. You don't have to you feel like what what it's like to go win on the road. You feel like what it's like, and winning on the road's really hard, and You feel like you know what guys are going to do when there's a game plan. You feel like guys aren't going to panic when there's something go awry. So I think it's just trust, and that's something that Mike has with his team, and there's a lot of veterans out there that have been through a lot of battles, and they're extremely well coached, and it's comforting to know that, and both of our teams have that.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, Coach, that's everybody who's lined up. Thank you for your time. I'll tell Paul to have you ready. Okay, Kent, we're ready to get started. In 4, we're ready to go. Thank
Hey,
you.
Fon.
Hello.
Morning, Fonz.
What's up? Morning.
You haven't had as much opportunity to get your shot off recently. What's it like to be at the top of the scouting report?
Well, it's not the first time. When I played at Pac-12 a year ago, it was kind of the same thing. Like, no catches. I bring a lot of tensions every time I get the ball. So it's kind of the same thing. I wasn't in Pac-12, so I'm just gonna make some adjustments and find other ways to help the team offensively.
I assume you see it kind of as an opportunity to showcase your other skills for the next level.
Yeah. I feel like it's time to now be more as a point guard, a guy who can bring attention and just find other ways to my teammates get more shots and have more opportunity to have the same role as me, and score the ball.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Just along the same lines, Alfonso, are you finding yourself having to hunt for shots a little bit more, and how does that affect your shot?
Well, to be honest, my confidence is going to be always the same. Probably it's going to be different this time. Probably I'm taking 10, 12 shots a game. Probably this time it's going to be 8 or 9. So now I have to think more, like I said before, more as a point guard, a guy who can create for other players. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're winning. I'm helping my guys, impacting the game in that way. So I can live with that, and just at least we win every game. I'm good with that.
Tell me about your improvements on defense. That's one of the things you focused on when you got here to Illinois, I know. What have been some of the keys there, and how you think you're defending right now?
Well, details. I've been working on details. Before I was just a guy who wanted to play a one-on-one defense, but this time I'm playing on details, like be on the gap, help defense, communicating. I feel like I'm getting way better in that situation. So I have to appreciate the coaches. They be on my ass every day on defense, and they'll help me a lot to be that guy. So
thank you.
Yeah, Alfonso, I wanted to follow up on that. Team defense, it seems like you guys are trending kind of upwards here and what you're able to do defensively. Chemistry-wise, what do you think is behind that?
Well, since the beginning, we felt like a family, you know what I'm saying? We always be connected. Probably we have some games that we have up and downs, like every family struggle, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. But we always find a way to fix that. And every time we connected, we always play good, and we always find ways to be a good teammate and a good team.
I know Coach talks about defense travels, effort travels, and he admitted, he said it's kind of a cliche, but it is kind of hard to walk into every game and have that mindset, I guess, or execute that. Why is that hard?
Well, every game is different. Like everybody got different plans. Everybody got different, scouting report. They got some teams got shooters, other teams got good big mans. So you always have to find adjustments, to fit in that level. So it's kind of hard sometimes. We struggle because we have to change our plans almost every time. Probably a guy can be like, oh, he can't shoot. And then in the game, he'll go like 5 for 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what's going on? So we have to change the plan in the middle of the game. So, sometimes it's kind of hard to do it, but we always find a way to do it well. And it's working. So we're just going to keep doing the same thing.
Thanks, Alfonso. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alfonso, I'm just curious, how much time and space do you need to get a shot off? Like,
Not enough. Probably that's why they don't want me to catch the ball.
Has that always been your style, just that really quick release, or is that something you developed over time?
Over time. I mean, when I was 11, 12 years old, I was probably one of the kids that always got a jump shot. Everybody was pushing the ball, when they was like 11, 12, like they don't jump. In that age, I was jumping already, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and that my dad just like helped me to keep doing the same thing, but like in a quicker release. And I just developed it over time. Now I feel like I'm shooting like a pro level jump shot.
And something Coach Underwood said, he said that you shoot better with a hand in your face or more. You feel that's true?
Yeah, I focus more when got a defender in front of me. I don't know why. I feel like I want to make a shot when somebody's guarding me.
All right, thank you.
Alfonso, I'm curious, being new to the Big Ten this year and new to Illinois and Indiana has had some history in their programs and rivalry through the years. Maybe not as much in recent years to the fans. Not sure about that, but I'm just curious if you come into a game like this with an understanding of a rivalry or knowing the history, or is it just another game in that sense?
Well, I'm new, but coach said like yesterday says it's a big rivalry, and one of the players, I'm not gonna say names, but one of their players, they wrote after they win, they wrote our name in the board, like selling Illinois, like beat Illinois. So I took that like a challenge. I was like, okay, like they really want us, they really want this game. So it's gonna be a good game. But like I said before, like I mean, I'm new, but I mean, any game for me is a rivalry. I feel like every game to me, I gotta play hard as I can and always like do my best to help my team to win. So.
And do you get history lessons about any of the other teams or programs as a team? Do you talk about those kinds of things, or again, is it just the next team on the schedule?
No, I don't. We don't talk about history, but that like coach said, like he always tell us like, yeah, this is a rivalry game. Like we gotta like they're gonna come, you know what I'm saying, and they want to put a statement. Like they gotta. The coach always warn like he always put a warning in every game, and like what's the meaning behind that. So he never like go like, hey, this is the history. This is how it happened before. Like no, we don't go in details like that. All we know is we gotta win. We gotta go on the road. We're gonna get a road kill. That's all we know. I know.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Hey, Alfonso, last night I'm watching UCLA and Arizona play, and I was kind of just curious, how much different is playing in the Pac-12 than playing in the Big Ten as someone who's done it the last 2 years?
Well, I feel like Big Ten is more athletic. I feel like they got more like quick guards, big guards, and for sure big men. Like I don't think Pac-12 ever have a Kofi. So I feel like the Big Ten is more like athletic and big guys. And I feel like Pac-12 is more like systematic guys who can score, but they're not that athletic. They're not that tall. You know what I'm saying?
And now that you've played in the Big Ten for 11 games now, and you guys are 9-2, was there a part of your game that was maybe took longer to adjust to the style of play in the Big Ten? Because they are a lot different in the style of play.
Yeah, like I said before, in the Pac-12, just a shooter, spot-up shooter, or like coming on screen shooter. But in the Big Ten, Brad did a great job to get me the ball in ball screens and get me involved on the screens and a lot of movement in the court. So I can bring that attention that I'm bringing right now to help my team be better offensively. So I feel like in that situation, that's what I got better.
Do you feel like your game fits one league better than the other after you've played in both of them for at least a significant portion of time now?
Yeah, yeah. My numbers are way better. My percentages are way better, and I feel like I'm a better player for sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Alfonso. Appreciate you.
Fonz, what's the biggest difference as a 24-year-old and how you see the game, or, biggest difference in your game than maybe when you were 17, 18, 19?
Well, I feel like I'm more mature. If I have a game that I score 5, 10 points, I'm mad. Even though we won, I feel like I didn't help the team. I feel like I didn't do anything to help the team to be productive. But like right now, I'm like probably like I sometimes I don't even score in the half, and I'm like I don't care, we up. You know what I'm saying? Right now, all in my heart is to win, and we first in the Big Ten, so that helps. That situation, that mindset, I didn't have that when I was at 17, 18. But I was kind of more like selfish guy, you know what I'm saying? But right now I'm more like as a team player, and I like that. I really I'm proud of myself in that part.
When did that flip for you?
When I started losing, I feel like every time like I scored like 20 or 30 and we lost the game, it's not a good feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you scored, you did really good, but we didn't win the game. And nobody cares if you scored 30 or 40, you lose the game. Nobody cares about that. People care about championships, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I have to like find other ways to feel better after a game, and the ways winning the game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Alfonso. I know you kind of talked about defense earlier, and I know you guys kind of have Kofi and Andre, and it seems like you're relatively healthy for the first time all year. Do you think you guys are kind of settling into an identity as a team? And if so, kind of what is that?
We good. I mean, we like I said, we always like coach always find ways to ways that we can, like everybody can fit and feel comfortable, in the situation. I feel like Bello is good, started or not. He always gonna be a good player. He's always gonna help us to get wins, because he's special, man. He a special guy. He always like positive in and out of the court. So I feel like he don't care if he start or not. I feel like coach always like told us like even like you all you got to do is like find a ways to help us. You know what I'm saying? Even though it doesn't matter what role you are, like you just gotta help our team. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we're doing good. We're really good in that situation. So.
Yeah. And I guess kind of defensively, having guys like Trent and DeMonte who can kind of do well on teams' main options, how much does that kind of open up and help you guys defensively?
Well, I feel like I don't know why they didn't consider Trent Fraser to the defensive player of the year, but I feel like he's one of the biggest key in the team and to help us, win games, because he really be like locking other players up every time. Like every time he guards somebody, they probably got like 5, 10 points, and after that game, they scored 20 or 30. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like Montez and all the guy like doing the really, really good job with other stars players. So I feel like they be a big key in our wings, because they are doing a really, really good job in the defensive end. I don't know why they didn't like consider them in the defensive player of the year. It's kind of crazy, to be honest.
Yeah. And I guess how much has Trent kind of taught you about defense, and how has he kind of brought you along on that side of the ball?
Well, he always tell me like almost what to do in defense. You know what I'm saying? I always listen. I feel like he's a great player. I feel like he's great, especially on defense. So to me, it's more like another coach to me. I feel like when I'm kind of like struggling, he come to me and be like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to think this way. You know what I'm saying? He always find details to help me to get better. So I really appreciate that. I feel like he's a really coach in that situation to me. And he's a big brother. So we have that chemistry already. We help each other every time too.
Have time for one quick question from Joey.
So can you give us the origin of the arrow celebration that you have after you hit a three?
Sorry?
Can you give us the origin story of the arrow celebration that you have after you hit a three?
Well, I started in high school. I don't know. I was just like shooting threes, and like I was a lot of NBA games and a lot of college games, and I was like, some people got celebrations, but I don't know mine. I don't know. I feel like I scored a lot of threes, and I don't have nothing after that. I feel like it's gonna be cool if I do like a celebration, so I can like help the fans to pump up, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I just find a way to just get the ball and arrow. Sometimes I have different celebrations. Sometimes it was like my hand is hot, or like look at my numbers or my name, you know what I'm saying? But like I feel like that was the best one, the RO, because it's like I feel like it's the best. This is like the best way to help these fans to just still pump up and create a great environment.
Thanks, Fonz.